Good morning and happy Friday. Yay! Once again, we've made it full circle through another week. And I pray your week has been blessed. And again, I would say if it has not been the best that you would have liked it to be, I pray that things will get better. And in a few hours, for some of us are already there, you will be experiencing that time of rest that God commanded you to have. So look forward to that, and you will be surprised how one rest, an overnight sleep, a day rest, whatever it might be, replenishes your thoughts, your mind, your body. So there's hope. Today we're going to be reading Job chapter 40. Yesterday we encountered Job in Job 39. God's telling Job exactly who is boss, who is in charge, and who does what when, without any questions or explanations or apologies. And we're going to move on into chapter 40, and God is still talking to Job. Okay, now God is having his turn. Everyone else had their say. Now it's God's turn. And like we say, God has the final say. All right. Moreover, the Lord answered Job and said, shall he that contendeth with the Almighty instruct him? He that reproveth God, let him answer it. Then Job answered the Lord and said, now I in my mind, is Job talking to God? Now they said God spoke to Job through a whirlwind. How did that actually sound? How did it happen? I think it's a spiritual thing. I think it's a spiritual thing because I don't think anyone else around would have been able to hear it. It's spiritual. Okay. Behold, I am vile. What shall I answer thee? I will lay mine hand upon my mouth. Once I have spoken, but I will not answer. Yea, twice, but I will proceed no further. Then answered the Lord unto Job out of the whirlwind and said, gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. Wilt thou also disannul my judgment? Wilt thou condemn me, that thou mayest be righteous? Hast thou an arm like God? Or canst thou thunder with a voice like him? Deck thyself now with majesty and excellency, and array thyself with glory and beauty. Cast abroad the rage of thy wrath, and behold everyone that is proud, and abase him. Look on every one that is proud, and bring him low, and tread down the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together, and bind their faces in secret. Then will I confess unto thee, that thine own right hand can save thee. Behold now, Behemoth, which I made with thee, he eateth grass as an ox. So God is going through again the things that he alone is in charge of. God alone is in charge of nature. There is not a human being that can manipulate or control anything in nature. I know that there are some scientists who get involved in, doing things with plants and mixing animals, but still, they're using God's materials. Everything God made. God made us humans so that we can intermix and mingle with each other, and we still bring forth human beings. Okay? All right. So it's all under God. God set it up that way. Verse 16. Lo now, his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly. He moveth his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. His bones are as strong pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. And if you've ever seen a bull, or what do they call them? I think that's the name for them. A steer or bull, the male cows, they are powerful. Okay? And this is what God is describing here. Verse 18. His bones are as strong as pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. Isn't that interesting? That means he's one of my amazing creations. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto him. Surely the mountains bring him forth food, where all the beasts of the field play. He lieth under the shady trees in the covert of the reed and fens. The shady trees cover him with their shadow. The willows of the brook compass him about. Behold, he drinketh up a river, and hasteth not. He trusteth that he can draw up Jordan into his mouth. He taketh it with his eyes. His nose pierceth through snares. So this is the description of one of God's mighty creations, the bull. Okay? Or steed or steer. I'm not sure how people would name it. It's the male cow. And that's just the thing, okay, that God has made. And God is comparing the strength of that animal with Job's ability to control it. And we know we are no match for these animals. When we see them, we respect them. We stay out of their way. Okay, if we are smart enough, stay out of their way. But anyway, that's the end of chapter 40. God is answering Job, and Job is kind of having a rebuttal with God as well. He's answering God. He says he knows he's vile, so he will keep his hand, to his mouth. That means he will not speak. He will not speak very liberally. He will keep his hand to his mouth and be careful as to what he says. God is saying, gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee and declare unto me, hast thou an arm like God? Do we have an arm or the strength of God? No, we don't. So we need to humble ourselves like human beings should and let God be God. And stop always asking, why would God, sometimes I'll tell you truthfully, it annoys me to hear people ask questions like that. And they're just asking it to give their own minds a reason for not trusting God or wanting to trust God, when they know that's just what they want to say. But God knows the heart. So we could try to fool people with, I don't believe in God because one time, that's foolishness. Your relative, whoever it is not the only person on the face of this earth that has not been healed. And many prayers may have gone up for them. But I'm going to say this, God knows what he's doing. And if you choose not to trust God because of some foolish magic genie time when you wanted to rob that magic genie, you had no other connection with God. But just that, God knows our hearts. So when you rub the bottle and no genie came out and you say, oh, I don't believe in God, that's up to you. I have had times and times and times again that I can give you evidence and testimony, and I am not testing God anymore to the point where I'm saying I want to prove that you're there, because I already know God is there. My relationship with God now is to do his will and to know his will for me and to do it. So that's it for today. Thank you all for listening, and until our next reading, take care. Remember, faith comes when we hear God's word.